Hello and welcome to the Identity Podcast. We're here for an identity exclusive as we continue to celebrate and focus on Earth Day, Earth Week, and Earth Month here in the month of April. It's great to be here. Once again, this is an identity exclusive presented to you by Find Your ID NYC. Don't forget to go ahead and like us on all social media platforms at the Identity Podcast, and you can check us out on all streaming platforms, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you love the Identity Podcast and want to sponsor us, well, guess what? You can. All you have to do is email us at press@findyourdnyc.com for more information, and we'll get you more details with that as well. Once again, I'm Caleb, one of your co-hosts for the Identity Podcast. I'm here for this great identity exclusive featuring Jill from JamJarGill. Hello, Jill. How are you?
Hello. Lovely to see you again.
You as well. It's great to have you back on here. It's only been like 2 or 3 weeks since the last time we had you on, but it feels like a lot longer than that.
It does. It feels like a lot has happened in the last 2 weeks. Yeah.
I know life is hectic, life is busy, but I hope things are going well for you, and I hope everything has been good for you. I think to not be mistaken, I think the last time we talked, you said that it was snowing for you that day. Yeah, it's actually vice versa. It's snowing for us today.
Is it really?
Yeah, which is odd because yesterday it was quite warm, and then today it's quite cold and snowing, which goes to show the climate crisis that we're in, right?
It is so crazy. I mean, like today, actually, touch wood, it's been really nice. It's been, well, I don't know how this translates to Fahrenheit, but it's been 18 degrees centigrade, which is kind of like nice mild spring weather. So I feel like spring is finally here. The bulbs are finally coming up, and I've actually got sandals on today for the first time. And I've hung the washing in the garden, so everything's feeling better the last few days, because like I was saying, how it's amazing, isn't it? When the sun shines, everything just seems better.
Literally, it's that vitamin D. It just replenishes your soul. It's so good for you. Yes, I completely agree with you, Jill. And, that's something the past few weeks we've had very spring-like weather, very nice, a little chilly, but just nice, where you can go out with like a light jacket or no jacket and be able to, just walk around. But today, completely the opposite.
It just seems like everything is just extreme now. Everything goes one way, then it goes the other way. It's like a pendulum.
I don't know how it is in the UK, but over the past few years, I feel that we haven't really had a whole lot of spring weather. I feel like it's basically gone from winter to summer in like an instant, especially here in the Midwest in the United States. I feel like if we have spring, it's only been a week or two. And after that, it's immediately winter, week of spring, summer. And this year, I was like, oh, we're actually getting a spring. And then it's like, oh, but winter 2.0 is back. And it just kind of shows. But to me, here's the thing, when we're discussing a climate crisis, we look at, I think the weather in the United States at the moment is a great description here to an example, because we go from last week having very spring-like weather to today, very chilly, snowy weather. By Thursday, we're supposed to be back up into nice, warm weather, and by the end of the week, it's going to be like summer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, it just makes your head spin, really. I mean, it's just crazy, because if you talk like a traditional sense of like, I don't know, 20 years ago or something like that, then people would advise you to pack away your winter clothes, like put them up in the loft and get out your summer wardrobe as a strategy for like a wardrobe circulation. Like, you don't need that stuff anymore. Pop it up in the loft and then you can get it out at the end of the season or whatever. No, you can't do anything anymore. You literally have to have every possible scenario out. And when it comes to buying like kids' clothes, it's just insane, because like I have like thicker waterproofs, thinner waterproofs, summer jackets, bomber jackets. Like literally, I'm so glad I get clothes donations. Seriously, because It's just, I'm like, oh, we can get by without the really thick winter coats. That's cool. I've got like 3 other options which I can layer up. Oh no, wait, it's going to snow for like 4 weeks. And then suddenly it's like, please, someone, has anyone else got twins? Luckily, I have a good community. So
that is a good thing.
So it's definitely a blessing.
I feel that it definitely just kind of goes to show with the climate crisis and everything. We've had a few identity exclusives as of recent where we've talked about this as well, and it's really it really is important, right? And I think now more than ever, we're really starting to see the changes and on more on a global scale rather than in just regional scales. We're definitely starting to see more changes and impacts and effects is the word I'm trying to look for, effects from the current climate crisis that we're in. But I think that goes into another great topic that we can briefly discuss, and that's Earth Day, Earth Week. Even what's great about Earth Day, it started in 1970 and then it expanded to Earth Week, and then from there expanded into kind of this Earth Month. And there's a lot of different organizations that look at April as Earth Month. And I know there's a lot of different companies, especially right now with being completely virtual with the pandemic, transitioning into this kind of Earth Week, having different Earth Week events and stuff like that. And so the Identity Podcast said, let's tag along and let's do something like that too. So we've been so this week lots of fun stuff. On the 21st we have our Earth Day special, and then on the 22nd we'll be premiering all of our shows for the pre-recorded exclusive stuff like that, which is really great. So we have the Earth Day and everything. We kind of have this impact that it's had on the world and everything. And I'm kind of curious, how has kind of Earth Day impacted your career and your livelihood as well?
I mean, I think for a very small scale person like me, I was thinking about it as I was hanging out the washing, actually, and thinking how I actually see it as it's an excellent excuse for brands to take more of an eco focus for a month. We have, I don't know, as well, different things running throughout the year. There's all sorts of social media tags that you can get on board with. Another one which comes to mind is Secondhand September, which I don't know if that runs in America too, but it's run by Oxfam over here, which is like one of our biggest charities. And to me, it's just like, it's an opportunity to publicize it and to talk about it and to put it in the limelight. But to me, I'm doing this stuff every day. And this is the point, is what we should be doing is we should all be doing our little bits every day. We should be making the choices and being conscious every day. Oh, it's quite sunny outside. It hasn't rained all day. Hey, I'm going to hang my washing in the garden, or like, what can I do? Can I plant something? Can I turn the thermostat down? Can I, these are conscious decisions which we're making every day. But I'm really excited that more and more of these kind of events and these kind of things are publicized, because it just helps with the overall messaging, and it gives opportunities, within the communication space like this podcast as well, for people to have conversations about it. And then the more people talk about it, the more it comes into the mainstream. So I guess that's my kind of thought process on it all.
No, I completely agree with you, Jill, and I think you made a great point, and that's something that we've definitely discussed on the show before, is we're doing the same thing we do every day. And it's like, it's great to have this day and this month and everything to focus on things, but there's definitely this sense of almost like capitalism in the way brands and corporations are working. And it's like, oh, we're going to use this time to really say, hey, we're eco-friendly. But in reality, we're not. We're completely lying to you. And we're actually not at all, like nowhere close.
I mean, there is this whole concept to be like conscious of in the social media space, and people have you heard of greenwashing?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so it's kind of the companies who's like, oh, I've got a logo with the picture of a turtle on it, but if you buy it for $25, then like 1% will go to a charity, or like I don't know,
even kind of that.
and you're just like, are you really eco? You're just printing it on a standard t-shirt.
Exactly.
It's not organic, and you're just using it as an opportunity to get influencers. But what that actually means is you're not going to pay them anything, but you might give them free postage, or do you know what I mean? It's just you've got to watch out for these companies. But then, I mean, it's like, I think we talked about this last time. There's different attitudes about companies like Amazon, and some eco-friendly people would be completely against Amazon as a company. I'm kind of at the mindset that I'd rather support the green choices which they are making rather than not support them at all, because actually, to me, we have an opportunity here to get the big corporates doing the right thing. And for want of a better metaphor, it's almost like training a dog or training a child, or like focus on all the good things they're doing and like really like spend on that, or like, kind of encourage that. And hopefully that will then start to make seeds of changes across the rest of the organization. Much as, Unilever brought out a Colgate, which is apparently eco-friendly. So I immediately bought it because I just thought, well, awesome. I know it's a small step in the right direction, but I'd rather encourage you doing that than, just rant on about all the things which you're not doing, even though, I don't know, I'm about like positivity. So I like to try and focus and encourage people who are doing the right things, and even bigger organizations focus on the good things which they're doing rather than all the bad choices they're making or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I do. Yeah, I actually fall into that same category there. I think Amazon is one of those interesting corporations to discuss because there's a lot of flack going around at the moment as we speak about Jeff Bezos and everything with Amazon and such, and we definitely have this I think there's a kind of fine line in the middle where it's like I can be completely against this or I can be completely for this, and there's not really the sense of like I'm not against it, but I'm not like putting all hands on deck or anything. It's the fact that it's the fact that you do see the positives from it, but you also see negatives, and that's kind of where I think you and I both kind of fall into place. Is like we see the positives because there are a lot of positives when it comes to Amazon and corporations of around what Amazon is doing and everything, but there are several negatives, and I do think there are some really good green things Amazon is doing. Obviously, they could improve. From what I've heard, it sounds like they are willing to listen. That's one of the first corporations to actually be willing to listen, which is really important. And then from there, it's also just kind of the sketchiness, the sneakiness behind everything, kind of like with all the money as well. Like, where's all this money going? And it's like it could be used for different things, and so there's definitely that fine line there. But I think it's a great topic to kind of hash into, like thinking, what's good or what's bad about it, type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just generally. Historically speaking, and I totally get this, but it's part of the whole concept of trying to make a concept like environmentalism mainstream. It's to accept that it's not going to be perfect. You have to drop the perfectionism, because people have busy lives and people have limitations on their budgets and people have a million and one different things going on. So I'm all about like celebrating the small changes which people can make and do. And like for me, Amazon, I mean, I was quite horrified by some of the things my sister who lives in America was talking about, like working conditions in the warehouse. And I don't know how true that is. So I'm not going to go there, but it sounded pretty horrendous. But for example, you can buy bulk buy from them. You can buy eco stuff from them. They've got that green initiative, which I mentioned last time. So you can actually set up your search results so they come up with all the eco stuff first. my experience of their packaging is that 9 times out of 10, it's recyclable, it's cardboard. It's probably like 1 time out of 10 that you might get something in a plastic bubble wrap. I don't know if that's the same for you over there, but you know, the design of that folding cardboard thing to put books in, it's such a clever designed cardboard thing. Do you know the one which like concertinas and folds like that? And I haven't seen any other company using those. So I don't know if they were the ones who developed that or what, but I'm just like, well, why aren't we using that for all book companies? Why are some book companies, you know, still sending stuff out in bubble wrap packages? It's unnecessary, you know, so I'd rather celebrate those sorts of things.
I completely agree with you there, Jill. And yeah, they do that here as well in the United States, and that's one thing that I do enjoy. It's very rare for you to get like the plastic bubble wrap. I think it's if it's something smaller, then they're not going to put it in like a bigger box or anything, which I understand. I would love to see them, you know, maybe smaller cardboard boxes or something in the future to get rid of, to get away from the plastic bubble wrap. But I do appreciate the fact that most of their packages do not come in that. And I think that's a really positive thing to look at it.
For sure.
And they have,
and they put multiple orders in one box as well, which, you know, it sounds like such a simple thing, but it's amazing how many companies don't do it. And like I bought some paint samples from one of our biggest DIY wholesalers who at the time you couldn't go to the store, so I ordered it for home delivery, paid, you know, £4 delivery or something, which again to me, because I've got Prime, I'm like, £4, that's so much money. Like, anyway, and then it arrives and it's like, I'm telling you, like paint samples, like this size,
like barely anything
in boxes, you know, and I got like 3 boxes, and I'm just like this is illogical for your company. This is illogical from the financial perspective, illogical from the environmental perspective. Like, who has decided this is a good idea?
Exactly.
You know, it would cost you more postage, it costs you more packaging, it costs you, you know, it's just ridiculous. But I think the thing is, you know, as I said last time on, you know, about the supermarket packaging, which I still think has a lot to be desired in a lot of cases. It's about calling them out on it and just saying, come on, guys, you know, really, you can do better. Please do better. You know? Yeah. But I do find, like, I find myself measuring all other mail order against Amazon. I don't know if you do that, because they're so good now with the delivery and they're so good now with the packaging. I'm just like, I actually think that's something to be celebrated. And wouldn't it be great if they taught the other people who are now going mail order because of the pandemic some of that stuff, if they shared those resources? You know, that would be something which I'd be seriously impressed with, is if they used, you know, their knowledge base and didn't just keep it for themselves, actually encourage other companies to use their packaging. I mean, I don't know if this is happening, to be fair, I know nothing about it, but for example, they could make money selling packaging to companies who want to mail order. Do you know what I mean? And because that is excellent package.
That's a really great idea. No, I love that idea. You should you should run with it.
I should write to them.
Hold on one second. I gotta send an important email. But no, I think that's a great idea, actually, Jill. That could, I mean, that's huge. That's huge for any company if they have the opportunity to expand something like that. And I do agree with you. The packaging, the way they package things, how they package things, the materials they're using is exceptional. And I think that's definitely a big pro in the pro and con list of looking at Amazon. And I think from there, it also shows that they are a lot more willing to go green. than other corporations and other companies. And I think that right there can also impact kind of the sense of Earth Day, and looking at it is seeing that there are corporations out there that are willing to acknowledge that we should be sustainable on a daily basis, 365 days a year, 24/7, right? Compared to
like, that's just the standard. That is just the standard. They're setting that as a standard, and that's what you want. That's true corporate sustainability, is actually setting the standard and sticking to it, not just doing it as a fad because it's Earth Month. It's right. But so my question to anyone who's doing any of these things is like, okay, but what are you taking forward from this month?
Exactly. Where are you taking from it? What are you going to do to get better the next month? And what's something that what's something you could do better at? What's something that you wish to be better at? What's something that you maybe just do so well at that you could teach others? Educating, because that's the other thing, is like, not only are we trying to promote this, but we also have to educate, because there's still a lot of people across the globe that maybe don't know the things that are happening, or don't know what to do, the proper ways to do them. And if we can just teach it, and I think what kind of baffles my mind is the fact that we look at corporations and they have all this technology and capability to connect across the globe, and yet they don't necessarily use their connections to the extent that they should, right? They have this ability to teach the world about sustainability, yet they themselves are not acknowledging the fact that they need to be sustainable. And I think that's a whole other thing in itself. But
it's so true. It's so true. I just think it's just it's an opportunity to take things forward. Sorry, can you just bear with me 1 second?
Yeah, of course.
My sons were just like calling mummy. 2 seconds. Right, it's fallen off the couch. That's why it's on the side. But I'm just on a phone call right now. Okay. Okay. Oh, thank you for informing me of that. Thanks. It's okay, mummy. You can sort it out after you finish your call. Okay, thanks. Thanks for advising me. Right. I'm sorry. I was kind of distracted whilst you were saying what you were saying, but I do 100% agree. I just think these are just the opportunities to take forward concepts and ideas and see how they can make that change going forward. I think, no, I'll let you go anyway.
No, you're totally fine, Jill. But no, yeah, I think that's a great segue into looking at sustainable lifestyles and everything, and also what you're doing here. And so with everything that you're trying to do, being an eco-influencer, reaching out to eco-influencers and everything, what are some ongoing projects that you've been up to as of recent?
I mean, I think it's just in every sort of day-to-day life, I'm just spotting things, and every time I do, I'm just promoting it. I mean, one thing, we actually went into the center of town to a mall this week just because it was finally open, so the novelty of it. But I was really excited because I shop mostly secondhand, to go into some high street stores and see that they were clearly thinking about their materials. And I managed to buy some new yoga pants from like one of the main high street brands. And on the label, it said this material has been made from like paper pulp. And I was like, what? It's amazing. Like, it's so cool. And even like the, I'm trying to remember what it's called now. It's like the shiny fabric, which, I mean, it's not my cup of tea, but it's, what like cycle shorts are made out of, that kind of fabric, like nylon-y. But it said it was like a recycled one. And I was like, ooh, this is cool. And then I went into another brand, which, I mean, I really like all the kind of surfer brands and that sort of thing. And there's one called The White Stuff, which I then bought. And like, both the tops and the corduroys I bought from there were both organic cotton. And it seems to me that this is really cool. Like, people are really paying attention to this, and the big brands, I mean, I'll say for anyone listening in the UK, this is Next. And you're like some Marks and Spencers. I don't know if you've heard of any of these brands, but they're providing, they're big department stores. And they're equivalent of like Macy's for you or something like that. But they're thinking of organic cotton. They're thinking of recycled fabrics. And I just think that's so something to be celebrated. So it's just really awesome. And I mean, I guess in terms of projects and stuff, I'm on the brink of going full freelance with my virtual assistant work. As of May, I will be. So I'm really excited about that and the opportunities that are there. Hopefully, I'll get the chance to work with some ecopreneurs in that space. That's what I really want to do, and some wellbeing people and stuff. And I'm just excited about the kind of people I'm working with. And like, for example, one of my clients, I'm supporting her. She's a VA who's been established for sort of 3 years herself. So she's now turning into a virtual business manager. But like, she's now sourcing clients who are in the eco space as well. And she's using a scheme where, you know, you buy trees for every bit of money that comes in. And it's just, I just feel like there's more and more and more opportunities to make green choices for standard people. So that's what I've been really excited about this week.
That's great. I think that's really awesome. Very excited for you. Congratulations. I wish you the best with that. And I think that's a great way to end this identity exclusive as well, on a good positive note.
Sure.
but also just to add on what you were saying, though, I think that's absolutely fascinating, and I love to hear that for you. And I think it's great to know that there are individuals that are doing what you are doing and are able to, you know, find some success with it, but also a lot of comfort and commitment with it, right? Because it's something getting into, you know, 15, 20 years ago, there really wasn't a whole lot of field for it. I feel like now, especially in the pandemic, there's definitely been a lot bigger calling for it. And I actually know a lot of individuals that are starting to kind of get into the industry and really start to try to plot their soil, right? And make their way and put their roots in the ground and everything. And I think it's great to know that the kind of eco side of things is starting to become its own little industry, and you can do so many things, right? You know, here I am podcasting about it, and you're able to, you know, help ecopreneurs,
business support, but also like doing like the blog and doing working with products. And I just feel like there's more and more and more products coming out as well, and more small businesses starting up. And I think this is the joy of the internet. I think I said it last time as well. It gives the individual so much more ability through platforms like Etsy, through platforms like now Instagram is doing a selling piece as well. There's Vinted has just relaunched as well. You know, there's so many things where people are encouraged to sell secondhand, to buy secondhand, to buy eco, and at reasonable prices. So I think it's very encouraging.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's comforting, and it's also just, to me, it makes me happy. You know, it makes me happy to see this and to see some good change out there. It's really great. But thank you again, Jill, for coming on.
Pleasure.
It really is an honor to host you again and to be able to talk to you yet again. And we hope to continue to work with you in the future too.
Absolutely.
And continue to collaborate, and we'll definitely be keeping up to date with everything that you're doing with JamJarGill. So we follow each other, so we'll be staying
absolutely. Absolutely.
But,
yes, it's a pleasure to work with you again, and look forward to collaborating more in the future.
Definitely, as we continue to celebrate Earth Day every day, right?
Absolutely. Make it a habit. Make it a habit to be
Exactly.
conscious in every decision you make.
Put it on your to-do list.
Mhm.
Everything you do. But your virtual calendar. But thanks again, Jill. And once again, you have been listening and watching an identity exclusive presented to you by the Identity Podcast, and of course, Find Your ID NYC. We had this identity exclusive featuring JamJarGill. Jill is a great friend of the Identity Podcast. We're so excited to have her back on to talk about everything and to recap from last time as well as we celebrate Earth Day early and of course Earth Month. Don't forget to go ahead and follow us on all social media platforms at the Identity Podcast. And you can check out the Identity Podcast, which is available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify and Google Podcasts. And if you love the Identity Podcast and want to sponsor us, well, guess what? You can. All you have to do is email us at press@findyouridnyc.com, and we'll get back to you with more details. Well, thank you again for listening and watching this Identity exclusive. I am Caleb, one of your co-hosts, and it's been an honor as always. We will catch you next time.